The letter came on a Thursday. It had the club's gold seal on top. I knew it was bad news before I opened it. My hands were still sore from the night shift. I tore the envelope open anyway. The words were polite. Too polite. They said my membership was suspended. 6 months. The reason was pace of play. I had slowed the game down too much. Other members complained. I read it twice. The second time I felt nothing. I put the letter on my kitchen table. The table was old. My wife picked it out 40 years ago. She was gone now. Cancer took her in 2018. I still ate my dinner at that table every night. Alone. The letter sat there like a bad guest. I looked out my window. My backyard was a mess. The grass needed cutting. The shed door hung crooked. I thought about what my wife would say. She always hated those club people. She said they were the slow ones. Slow with their stupid business calls. Slow with their fancy cocktail parties. Slow with their fake smiles. That I worked at the Ford plant for 38 years. I was 67 now. My back hurt from bending over engines. My fingers swelled up in winter. But I still played golf every Thursday. That was my one thing. My 1 hour of peace. The club knew me. I had been a member for 30 years. I won the amateur championship there in 1996. The trophy had my name on it. Wooden base. Gold plate. It meant nothing to them now. That Thursday started like any other. I got off work at 7 in the morning. Drove home. Showered. Ate a quick breakfast. 2 eggs. Toast. Black coffee. I grabbed my bag from the garage. The bag was old. Canvas. Stained with rain from a Maine trip 10 years ago. I loved that bag. I got to the club at 9. The parking lot was half full. I parked in my usual spot. Far end. Near the dumpsters. The good spots were for the big members. The doctors. The lawyers. The car dealer with the red Porsche. I never minded the walk. The pro shop guy was new. Young kid. Name tag said Chad. He looked at me like I was a stray dog. I paid my green fee. Cash. $40. He took it like it hurt him. I went to the first tee. There was a group ahead of me. For guys. Loud. They hit and drove off fast. I waited. I always waited. That was my rhythm. I liked the silence between shots. I liked watching the birds. I liked feeling the wind on my neck. I hit my drive. Straight down the middle. Good. Not long. But straight. I walked after it. I did not take a cart. I walked every hole. That was how I played. How my father played. How golf was meant to be played. On the 4th hole I met them. The group behind me. They had been pressing all morning. Hitting into me. Sending their balls near my feet. I ignored it. That happens sometimes. People get impatient. I kept my pace. Slow. Steady. I lined up each putt. I read the break. I took my time. Then the horn came. A loud electronic horn. From their cart. It cut through the quiet like a knife. I turned around. The driver was Greg Foster. The car dealer. Red Porsche. Pink sweater. He waved his hand at me. Like I was a cow in the road. His friends laughed. I did not wave back. I lined up my putt. 3 feet. Straight. I tapped it in. Picked up my ball. Walked to the next tee. That was when I saw Hanson. The club manager. He was running toward me. His pink polo shirt was untucked. He looked mad. John, he said. Out of breath. We need to talk. I kept walking. He followed. His shoes made little clicks on the cart path. John, he said again. We've had complaints. 7 complaints in 2 months. About your pace. I stopped. I looked at him. He was maybe 30 years old. Younger than my son. His face was red. 7 complaints. I said, yes, he said. Formal ones. The board voted. They suspended you. 6 months. Effective immediately. I looked past him. The group behind me was watching. Greg Foster had his phone out. Filming me. His friends were smiling. I felt something cold in my chest. But I did not show it. You can finish today's round, Hanson said. But after that, please stay off the course. For 6 months. I said nothing. I turned and walked to the next tee. I hit my drive. It sliced right. Into the trees. I walked after it anyway. I found it. I punched it back to the fairway. I finished the hole. Then the next. I played all 18. I made every putt. I counted every stroke. I did not rush. When I finished, I went to the locker room. Hanson was there. He was waiting. He handed me an envelope. Same gold seal. I took it. I did not open it. I put it in my bag. I changed my shoes. I walked out to my truck. I drove home. That night, I sat at my kitchen table. The letter was in front of me. I read it one more time. The language was formal. Corporate. Regrettable decision. Member experience. Temporary suspension. I folded it. Put it in the drawer with my old tax forms that I turned on my computer. It was old. Took 2 minutes to start up. I logged into my bank account. I did not look at it often. That account had my father's money. He left me a small tool business. I sold it in 2003. I put the money in stocks, blue chips, dividends. I let it sit there for 20 years. I never touched it. The balance on the screen made me blink. I had more than I thought, more than I needed, more than enough that I called my financial advisor. His name was Mark. He was in Chicago. Young guy. Sounded like he was still in college. He answered on the second ring. Mark, I said. I want to buy something. Sure, John, he said. What is it? The Westwood Country Club. There was a long pause. I heard him breathing. John, he said. That is a large purchase. We need to talk about your portfolio, your retirement, your dash. Mark, I said. Just do it. Send them an offer. Full price. Cash. Tomorrow. Another pause. Then he said okay. His voice was shaky, but he said okay. I hung up. I looked out the window. My neighbor's lights were on. I could see his wife in the kitchen. She was cooking dinner. I thought about my wife. She would have laughed at this. She would have said I was crazy. She would have been right. But she also would have said those people had it coming. Those people with their phones and their horns. Their pink shirts and red cars. Their boards and votes. Their polite letters. I closed the computer. I poured a glass of water. I went to bed. My back hurt. My knees hurt. My hands ached. But I slept fine. The next morning I went back to work. The factory was the same. The noise. The smell. The bright lights. I put in my earplugs. I checked the parts. One by one. All day. Nobody knew what I had done. Nobody would know for days that Thursday I stayed home. No golf. I mowed my lawn instead. I fixed the shed door. I swept the garage. I try not to think about the club. On Friday Mark called me. The offer was accepted. Full price. No negotiation. The board approved it fast. They had no idea who the buyer was. Mark sent the papers to my house. I signed them on my porch. I used my work pen, the one with the oil stain on the barrel. I sent the papers back. The deal was done. I owned a golf club. The same club that banned me. The same club that told me I was too slow. I did not call anyone. I did not tell my kids. They lived 2 states away. They thought I was a factory worker. That was fine. That was who I was. That was all I needed to be. But Monday would come. Monday they would know. The email would go out. The new owner's name would appear. They would see it. And they would remember the old man with the slow pace. The old man they voted out. I smiled a little. I fed my cat. I made my dinner. Same eggs. Same toast. Same coffee. I ate at my table. I looked at the drawer where the letter sat. I thought about Greg Foster's face. Hanson's face. All those faces. 6 months. They said I was banned for 6 months. That was fine. I could wait. I had been waiting my whole life. A few more days would not hurt. I finished my dinner. I washed my plate. I went to bed early. The next morning I had work. 6 in the morning. Same shift. Same parts. Same machine. But something felt different. Lighter. Like a weight I did not know I carried was suddenly gone. I drove to the factory. I parked in my spot. I walked in. The foreman nodded at me. I nodded back. I put on my safety glasses. I started my machine. The noise drowned out everything else that nobody knew. Nobody would know until Monday. And that was the best part. The waiting. The quiet before the storm. I worked my shift. I came home. I fed the cat. I sat on my porch. The sun was going down. Orange and red. The sky looked like a good golf shot. Long and straight. I thought about next Thursday. I would go back to the club. I would park in the front spot. The spot reserved for the owner. I would walk past Hanson. Past Greg Foster. Past all of them. I would take my old bag. My old clubs. My old shoes. I would tee it up on the first hole. And I would take my time. More time than before. I would read every putt from every angle. I would check the wind on every shot. I would walk slow. Real slow. And nobody would say a word. Because it was my club now. My course. My rules. I went inside. I turned off the lights. I lay down in my bed. The ceiling was dark. The house was quiet. I closed my eyes. Monday was coming. And I was ready. Monday came cold and gray. I woke at 5. The same time I always woke. My joints cracked when I stood up. My back was stiff. I made coffee. Black. No sugar. I drank it on my porch. The cat came over. She was old too. A stray I fed for years. She rubbed against my leg. I scratched her head. She purred loud. That was my morning. Simple. Quiet. The same every day. I checked my phone. No messages yet. Mark said the email would go out at 9. Club business hours. I put my phone in my pocket. I drove to work. The factory was loud. The smell of oil and metal. I punched in at 6. The foreman gave me the usual nod. I went to my station. The parts came down the line. I checked each one. Good. Bad. Good. Good. Bad. Same as always. At 9 I took my first break. I sat in the break room. The vending machine hummed. A guy named Danny sat across from me. He was young. 25. He talked about his girlfriend. I nodded along. I looked at my phone. Nothing. I went back to work. 10 o'clock. 11. Noon. Lunch. I ate a sandwich at my station. The foreman did not mind. I was a good worker. Always on time. Always steady. At 1 I checked my phone again. 3 missed calls. All from Mark. I called him back. John, he said. His voice was high. Excited. It went out. The email. Everyone got it. Okay. I said, okay, he said. John, you own a country club. You're famous now. My phone has been ringing off the hook. Reporters. Lawyers. People who want to sell you things. Okay, I said again. He laughed. It was a nervous laugh. What are you going to do? Go back to work, I said. I have a shift to finish. He laughed again. Then he hung up. I put my phone away. I picked up my part. I checked it. Good. I put it on the belt. The next one came down. Good. Bad. Good. I worked until 4. I punched out. I walked to my truck. I sat in the driver's seat for a minute. The sky was still gray. The parking lot was half empty. I started the engine. I drove home. The first call came before I hit the highway. Unknown number. I let it ring. The second came a minute later. Then the third. I turned my phone face down on the passenger seat. When I got home I saw them. 2 cars in my driveway. A black BMW and a silver Mercedes. Both new. Both clean. Both out of place in my neighborhood. I parked my truck on the street. I walked up my driveway. The door to the BMW opened. It was Hanson. He wore a suit today. Navy blue. A real tie. He looked different. Smaller. He walked over to me fast. John, he said. I need to talk to you. About what? I said that he swallowed. The email. The ownership change. I didn't know. I swear. I had no idea. I know, I said. You sent the letter. His face went pale. That was a mistake. A huge mistake. The board pushed me. They made me do it. I was just following orders. The Mercedes door opened. It was Greg Foster. He wore a gray suit. His hair was combed. His face was red. He walked over. He was shaking. John, he said. We need to fix this. Fix what? I said. He forced a smile. This whole thing. The suspension. It was a big misunderstanding. We can reverse it. Today. Right now. Just say the word. I looked at him. His hands were shaking. His voice was thin. The big car dealer. The red Porsche. The pink sweaters. He looked small now. I already fixed it, I said. I bought the club. That's what we want to talk about, he said. We can make this work. Together. You and me. And the other members. We can make a deal. I don't make deals, I said. Hanson spoke up. John, please. I have a family. A mortgage. I need this job. If you fire me, I'm done. I looked at Hanson. He was 30 years old. He had a kid in private school. He had a wife who drove a Range Rover. He had a house in the nice part of town. Why would I fire you? I said. He blinked. You wouldn't know, I said. You're going to stay? You're going to do your job. But things will change. Change how? He said. I looked at Foster. The membership rules. No more secret votes. No more anonymous complaints. All reviews go through me. All of them. Foster tried to smile again. That sounds fair. Very fair. We can work with that. I wasn't talking to you, I said. His smile died. His face went blank. He opened his mouth. Closed it. Opened it again. Nothing came out. I walked past them. I unlocked my front door. I went inside. I did not invite them in. I closed the door. I watched from my window. They stood in my driveway for 5 minutes. They talked to each other. They pointed at my house. Then they got in their cars and drove away. I sat down on my couch. My cat jumped up next to me. I scratched her head. My phone buzzed again. And again. I turned it off. The next day, I went to the club. I drove my truck. I parked in the front spot. The one with the reserved sign. I got out. My old bag was in the back. I pulled it out. I walked to the clubhouse. Every head turned. People in the lobby. People at the snack bar. People in the pro shop. They all stared. I walked past them. I went to the locker room. The room went quiet. Guys in towels. Guys in suits. Guys in golf clothes. All quiet. All watching. I opened my locker. The same locker I had for 30 years. I changed my shoes. I took out my 5-iron. I walked to the putting green. A man came up to me. I did not know him. He was young, fit, expensive shoes. He stuck out his hand. "I'm Tom," he said. "I just joined last month. I didn't vote on anything. I don't know what happened, but I just want to say, I'm sorry for what they did. It was wrong." I shook his hand. It was soft. No calluses. "Thanks," I said that he leaned in close. "Is it true you bought the whole thing?" "Yes," I said that he let out a low whistle. "Man, that's something. That's really something." I nodded. I went back to my putting. He stood there for a minute. Then he walked away. Hansen found me on the 10th tee. He had a clipboard. He looked tired. Dark circles under his eyes. "John," he said, "I have the new complaint forms. Like you asked. They require video evidence. Witness signatures. A hearing date." "Good," I said. He handed me the clipboard. I looked at it. The form was long, detailed, fared. "There's something else," he said. "What?" He looked down. "Greg Foster asked me to talk to you. He wants to know about his membership, if he needs to reapply, or if you'll just lift the suspension." I gave the clipboard back. "He can reapply, same as anyone. He says he's been a member for 30 years. Same as me," I said. At Hansen nodded. He wrote something on his clipboard. Then he walked away. I hit my drive. Straight down the middle. Good. I picked up my bag. I started walking. The course was empty. Just me. The way I liked it. I walked slow. I read the wind. I watched the trees. I listened to the birds. At the 18th hole I saw them. A group of men on the clubhouse porch. Old faces. The board members. The ones who voted. They stood in a row. They all looked at me. I finished my putt. I picked up my ball. I walked past them. None of them spoke. None of them smiled. They just watched. I walked to my locker. I changed my shoes. I left. That night, I ate dinner at my table. Same eggs. Same toast. Same coffee. The cat was at my feet. My phone was still off. I looked at the drawer where the letter sat. I thought about opening it, reading it one more time. I decided not to. Some things you do not need to read twice. That letter was one of them. I knew what it said. I knew who signed it. I knew what they thought of me. Slow. Old. In the way. Now they knew what I thought of them. And that was enough. I went to bed early. My back hurt. My knees hurt. But I smiled in the dark. Thursday was coming. I would play again. Slow and steady. The way I always played. The way I would always play. It was my course now. My rules. My pace. And nobody would ever tell me to hurry again. The next 2 weeks were strange. People treated me different. Not all bad. Not all good. Just different. I went to the grocery store. The cashier smiled too much. She asked about my day. She never did that before. I said fine. I paid. I left. I went to the gas station. The kid at the pump waved at me. Big wave. Like we were old friends. I nodded. I filled my truck. I drove home. At work nothing changed. The foreman still nodded. Danny still talked about his girlfriend. The parts still came down the line. I liked that. The factory was steady. No fake smiles. No polite lies. Just worked out. One night I got a call from my son. He lived in Ohio. We talked once a month. He asked how I was. I said fine. He asked about my back. I said sore. Same as always. Then he paused. His voice went quiet. "Dad," he said, "I saw something online. About a country club. Your country club. Someone bought it." I said, "Yeah," he said. "I know. I read the article. It said the buyer was local. A long-time member. It said his name was John. Could be." I said. He laughed. It was a short laugh. "Dad, was it you?" I waited a second. "Yes." He went quiet. I could hear him breathing. Then he said, "How?" I told him. "The tool business. The stocks. The years of saving." He listened without talking. When I finished, he let out a long breath. "Dad," he said, "that's a lot of money. Why didn't you ever tell us?" "I didn't think it mattered." I said. "It matters," he said. Then he laughed again. This time it was real. "You bought a country club because they banned you. That's the most you thing I ever heard." "Probably." I said. That we talked for another 10 minutes. He asked about my health. My cat. My lawn. Normal stuff. Before he hung up, he said, "I'm proud of you, Dad. For real." That hit me harder than I thought. I sat on the couch for a while. The cat jumped in my lap. I scratched her head. My son was proud of me. That was good. Better than the club. Better than the money. The next Thursday, I went back to the course. The weather was nice. Cool. Sunny. No wind. I walked to the first tee. Tom was there. The new guy. He had a cart. He looked nervous. "John," he said. Mind if I join you? I promise I won't slow you down. I smiled. You can't slow me down. I'm the one who goes slow. He laughed. He looked relieved. We teed off together. He was not a great player, but he was honest. He counted every stroke. He did not cheat. I respected that. On the third hole we caught up to a group. For guys. I knew them. They were board members. The ones who voted to ban me. They saw us. They stopped. They waited. Go ahead, one of them said. Take your time. I did not say anything. I hit my shot. A good one. Straight. Long Tom hit his. Short. But in the fairway. We walked past them. They did not look at me. I did not look at them. Tom whispered. Those guys look scared. Good. I said. He laughed. Then he stopped. Sorry. I shouldn't laugh. That's not nice. It's fine, I said. It's true. We played the front 9. Then the back. I made a birdie on 12. Tom made a bogey on 16. We were both having fun. That was all that mattered. After the round, I bought him a beer. The clubhouse bar was quiet. Just a few old guys. They nodded at me. I nodded back. Tom sat down. He took a long drink. John, he said. Can I ask you something? Sure. Why did you do it? I mean, why buy the whole club? You could have just sued them. Or joined another club. I thought about that. I took a sip of my beer. It was cold. Good. I don't want to sue anyone, I said. That's not who I am. And I don't want another club. This is my club. I've been here 30 years. I was here before most of those guys. I'll be here after they're gone. He nodded. He looked like he understood. You're a good man, John, he said. A real good man. I finished my beer. I stood up. See you next Thursday. He smiled. I'll be here. I went home. The cat was waiting. I fed her. I made dinner. Same as always. But I felt different. Lighter. Like something had settled. The next day I got a letter. Not from the club. This one was from Greg Foster. It was on his dealership letterhead. Nice paper. Expensive ink. It was long. For pages. I read the first page. Then the second. Then I stopped. He wrote about his grandfather. The founder member. About his kids. His charity work. His commitment to the community. He wrote about how he had always respected me. Always admired my game. Always thought I was a good player. He wrote about how the vote was a mistake. A terrible mistake. He was sorry. Very sorry. He wanted to make it right. He wanted to stay at the club. His family had been there for 3 generations. He could not leave. Please. Just give him a chance. I put the letter down. I looked at my cat. She looked back at me. What do you think? I said as she blinked. Then she walked away. I picked up the letter again. I read the last page. He offered to help. With anything. Maintenance. Events. Membership drives. He said he could bring in new members. Rich ones. Important ones. He could make the club better. More profitable. He could be an asset. I folded the letter. I put it in the drawer. Right next to the suspension letter. They sat there together. One told me I was too slow. One told me I was a great man. Both were lies. I knew that. The next week I got another visit. This one was different. It was a woman. Older than me. Gray hair. Blue eyes. She knocked on my door at noon. I opened it. She smiled. John, she said. I'm Margaret. Greg's wife. I knew that. I knew her face. She was at every club dinner. Always dressed nice. Always polite. Hello. I said, I won't take long, she said. I just want to talk. Please. I let her in. She sat on my couch. My cat walked over. She sniffed Margaret's shoes. Then she walked away. Margaret looked around my house. Small. Simple. Clean. You have a nice home, she said. It's fine, I said as she folded her hands. Her nails were painted pink. John, I know my husband can be difficult. He has a big ego. He always has. But he's not a bad man. He's scared. He's really scared. He thinks he's going to lose everything. His membership. I said, more than that, she said. His business. His friends. His reputation. This club is everything to him. Without it, he's nobody. I sat down across from her. My chair creaked. She looked at me. Her eyes were wet. John, she said. He was wrong. I know that. I told him that. He should have never voted against you. He should have never let that letter go out. He should have stood up for you. He didn't. And I'm sorry for that. Thank you, I said as she wiped her eyes. Can you help him just a little? Give him one more chance. I thought about it. I thought about the letter in my drawer. The horn on the cart. The smile on his face. I thought about his kids. His wife. His grandfather. I'll think about it, I said. She smiled. She stood up. She shook my hand. Her hand was soft. Warmed up. Thank you, John, she said. Thank you so much. I walked her to the door. She got in her car. A white SUV. She waved. I waved back. Then she drove away. I went back inside. I sat on my couch. The cat came back. She jumped in my lap. I scratched her head. I thought about Greg Foster. He was a fool. A loud, proud, silly fool. But he was also a man. A scared man. Just like me. The difference was I earned my fear. I worked for it. I waited for it. He just bought his. With his red cars and his pink shirts and his big talk. He never earned anything. Not really. I made my decision. Not that night. Not the next day. 3 days later. On Thursday. I went to the club. I found Hanson, Greg Foster's membership, I said. I made a choice. Hanson stood up straight. Yes, sir. What is it? Let him back in, I said. But with one condition. What condition? I smiled. He pays double dues. For 1 year. That money goes to the junior golf program. For the kids. The ones who can't afford lessons. Hanson wrote it down. His pen scratched the paper. He looked up at me. You're serious? Dead serious, I said. He nodded. He walked away. I went to the first tee. I hit my drive. Straight. Long good. Greg Foster started playing again the next week. I saw him in the clubhouse. He looked smaller. Quieter. He walked past me. He did not speak. He just nodded. I nodded back. That was enough. I did not need an apology. I did not need a speech. I just needed him to know. He knew. And that was everything. But the months passed. Fall turned to winter. The leaves fell off the trees. The course went brown. I still played every Thursday. Cold or warm. Rain or shine. I did not care. The course was mine. The quiet was mine. The slow pace was mine. Greg Foster paid his double dues. He paid on time. Every month. He did not complain. Not once. I saw him on the course sometimes. He would wave from a distance. I would wave back. We did not talk. We did not need to. The money went to the junior program. Kids came from all over. They got free lessons. Free clubs. Free balls. Some of them were good. Real good. They smiled when they played. That made me happy. But the board changed too. Old members left. New ones came in. Younger ones. They did not care about the old votes. They did not care about the old fights. They just wanted to play golf. That was fine with me. I did not care about the past anymore. I had my course. My pace. My peace. In December I got a call from Danny. The kid from the factory. He said the plant was closing. End of the year. The company was moving to Mexico. Everyone was losing their jobs. He sounded scared. I asked how much time he had. 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and the place was gone. I went to work the next day. The factory was different. Quiet. Sad. People stood around. No one worked. They just talked. The foreman was in his office. He looked old. Tired. I went in. I sat down. What now? I said. He rubbed his face. I don't know, John. I got a family. A mortgage. I'm too old to start over. You're younger than me. I said, not by much. He said. I stood up. I walked out. I went to my truck. I sat there for a minute. Then I made a call. To Mark. My advisor. Mark, I said. I need you to look into something. The Ford plant. It's closing. I want to buy it. There was a pause. Then he laughed. John, you can't keep buying everything. Why not? I said. He laughed again. Then he got serious. What would you do with a factory? Open it back up, I said. Make the same parts. Hire the same people. Keep it local. He asked about money. About profit. About margins. I told him I did not care. I had enough. More than enough. The factory was not about money. It was about people. People like Danny. Like the foreman. Like me. Mark said he would look into it. He called back 2 days later. The plant was for sale. Cheap. Real cheap. The company wanted to get rid of it fast. I told him to buy it. He said okay. The news spread quick. The factory was saved. The jobs were saved. People were happy. People were confused. They did not know who bought it. The company would not say. The new owner was anonymous. They said it was a local investor. That was all. One night, I went to a bar. A dive near the factory. Danny was there. He bought me a beer. He looked happy. Drunk. He asked if I heard the news. The plant was staying open. New owner. Good guy. I said I heard. He cheered. He bought another round. I drank my beer. I did not say a word that I thought about telling him. Telling them all. But I did not. Some things are better left unsaid. I liked being the old guy at the bar. Just another factory worker. Just another regular guy. That was who I was. That was who I wanted to be. Winter was hard on my body. My knees hurt more. My back ached. The cold made my fingers stiff. I could not grip the club as tight. I missed more shots. I did not care. I still played. Every Thursday. Slow. Steady. The same as always. The club was quiet in winter. The snow sat on the fairways. The greens were frozen. I played anyway. I walked the course alone. My footsteps left marks in the frost. The birds were gone. The leaves were gone. Just me and the empty sky. On Christmas Eve, I went to the clubhouse. They had a party. Big dinner. Big tree. Lots of lights. I showed up late. The place was full. People in suits and dresses. They saw me. They all turned. The room went quiet. Tom was there. He walked over. He looked sharp. New suit. New tie. John, he said. Good to see you. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, I said as he handed me a drink. Eggnog. I took it. I sipped it. It was good. Sweet. Warm. The room started talking again. The music started playing. People moved around. Some of them came over to me. They shook my hand. They wished me well. They smiled. I looked around. I saw Greg Foster. He was across the room. He had his wife with him. He wore a black suit. Nice tie. He looked calm. Peaceful. He caught my eye. He raised his glass. I raised mine. No words. Just a toast. That was enough. Later that night, I went home. The cat was waiting. I fed her. I sat on my couch. The tree was small. I put it up the week before. Just a little one. From the hardware store. It had lights. A star on top. I turned on the lights. They blinked. Blue. Red. Green. I watched them. I thought about the year. The letter. The vote. The ban. The purchase. The change. It felt like a story. A story about an old man. A story about a golf club. A story about getting even. But it was more than that. It was about respect. And dignity. And not letting people push you around. I fell asleep on the couch. The cat slept on my chest. She purred. The lights blinked. The house was warm. The whole world was quiet. New Year's Eve came next. I went to the club again. They had a smaller party. Casual. No suits. I wore my old sweater. The one with the holes in the elbows. I did not care. Nobody said a word. Tom was there. Danny was there. I brought Danny with me. He had never been to a country club before. He looked around with his mouth open. He kept saying, wow, every 2 minutes. It made me laugh. This place is huge, Danny said. Do you know the owner? Sort of. I said. Can you introduce me? I want to shake his hand. Thank him. I smiled. Maybe later. We drank beer. We watched the fireworks. They shot them over the lake. Red and gold and blue. They lit up the sky. The whole club cheered. Danny cheered the loudest. At midnight, someone grabbed my arm. It was Margaret, Greg's wife. She hugged me. Tight. Real tight. She had tears in her eyes. Thank you, she said. For everything. For giving him a chance. For keeping our family together. It's fine. I said, it's not fine, she said. It's everything. She walked away. Greg stood behind her. He came over to me. He stuck out his hand. I shook it. His grip was firm. His eyes were cleared. I was wrong, he said. About everything. I know that now. I've thought about it a lot. These past few months. You're a better man than me, John. A better man than most. I did not say anything. I just shook his hand. Then he walked away. Tom came over. He looked happy. That was good, he said. That was really good. Happy New Year. I said that, Happy New Year. He said that the fireworks kept going. The crowd cheered again. I stood there. In my sweater. In my club. With my people. My kids called me the next day. My son. My daughter. They wished me a Happy New Year. I told them I was fine. I told them I was happy. I was not lying. The factory stayed open. The junior golf program grew. The club was steady. Good members. Good times. Good golf. I played every Thursday. Slow and steady. The way I always played. That winter was cold. But I did not mind. I had my cat. My house. My course. My peace. I did not need anything else. I had more than I ever wanted. More than I ever knew I needed. One night in February, I sat in my living room. The fire was burning. The cat was at my feet. I opened the drawer. The one with the letters. I took them out. The suspension letter. Greg's letter. I held them both. Then I tossed them in the fire. They burned up fast. The paper curled. The words disappeared. The smoke went up the chimney. I closed my eyes. I listened to the fire crack. The cat purred. The house was quiet. I was at peace. Spring came a month later. The snow melted. The grass turned green. I went to the course. The first tee was empty. The sun was warm. I took out my driver. I lined up my shot. I took my time. I looked at the sky. I felt the wind. I breathed in the fresh air. I swung. The ball flew high and straight. It landed in the fairway. Perfect. I smiled. I picked up my bag. I started walking. Slow. Steady. The way I always walked. The way I would always walk. Up behind me, I heard voices. Laughter. A cart humped. It stopped near the tee. A group of men got out. Young guys. New members. They were laughing. Having fun. They saw me. They waved. I waved back. They waited. They did not rush me. They did not honk. They just waited. That was good. That was respect. That was how it should be. I walked on. The fairway stretched ahead. Green and open. The sun was warm on my neck. My old bag was on my shoulder. My old clubs were in my hands. My old knees were sore. But that was fine. I was still here. Still playing. Still slow. Still steady. Still me. And nobody would ever change that. Not ever. Summer came hot and bright. The course was in good shape. New grass. New sand in the bunkers. I paid for it all. Not a big deal. I had the money. I had the time. I had the patience. The junior program grew fast. We had 40 kids now. Boys and girls. All ages. They came from the city. From the suburbs. From everywhere. Some had nice clubs. Some had old ones. I did not care. I gave them lessons for free. Every Saturday morning. Rain or shine. The kids call me Coach. I like that. Coach John. It felt right. Better than Mr. Owner. Better than Sir. Just Coach. Simple. Honest. One Saturday a boy showed up. He was small. Thin. Maybe 10 years old. His clubs were plastic. The kind you buy at a drugstore. He looked nervous. He stood alone. The other kids were laughing. Playing. He just watched. I walked over to him. I sat down on the grass next to him. He looked at me. His eyes were big. Brown. Scared. First time? I said. He nodded. You got a name? Marcus. He said. Nice to meet you, Marcus. I'm John. I know, he said. You own the place. I smiled. That's what they tell me. You ever play before? No, he said. My mom brought me. She said it was free. It is free, I said. That's the best part. I stood up. I held out my hand. He took it. We walked to the practice area. I gave him an old club. A 7-iron. It was too big for him. But I told him it would work. He swung it. It was clumsy. Off balance. But I saw something. A spark. A little light. Good, I said. Do that again. He did. Again and again. I watched. I helped him fix his grip. His stance. His swing. He listened. He did not talk much. But he listened. That was all I needed. After an hour he hit a good one. The ball flew straight. It went 40 yards. He looked at me. His face lit up. He smiled. A real smile. Big and bright. I did it. He said. You did. I said. Now do it again. He did. And again. And again. He hit 10 more balls. All straight. All clean. He could not stop smiling. Neither could I. His mom came at noon. She was young. Tired. She wore a uniform from the diner down the road. She thanked me. She said Marcus talked about golf all week. She said he could not sleep. He was so excited. He's good. I said. He's got a natural swing. She smiled. She hugged her son. They walked away. Marcus turned back. He waved. I waved back. That night I sat on my porch. The cat was on my lap. I thought about Marcus. About his plastic clubs. His mom's uniform. His big smile. I decided something. I made a call to Mark. Mark, I said. I need you to buy some golf clubs. Kids' clubs. Good ones. 50 sets. And bags. And balls. And gloves. Mark sighed. John, you're going to drain your account one day. You know that, right? I don't care, I said. Buy them. He did. The clubs came 2 weeks later. 50 sets. Shiny. New. The kids went crazy. They grabbed them and ran to the practice area. Marcus got a set too. Blue bag. Silver clubs. He hugged them like they were gold. I watched them play. All those kids. Hitting balls. Laughing. Having fun. That was worth more than any stock. Any dividend. Any bank account. I knew that now. Greg Foster started helping with the juniors. He came to me one day. Shy. Quiet. He asked if he could volunteer. Teach the kids. I said yes. He was good at it. He knew the game. He was patient. The kids liked him. He changed. I saw it. He stopped wearing pink. He stopped talking loud. He stopped showing off. He just showed up. Did his job. Went home. His wife said he was happier. More peaceful. I believed her. Hanson stayed on as manager. He ran the place well. No more secret votes. No more anonymous complaints. Everything was open. Fair. Honest. The members liked it. The club was better. stronger, more united. Tom became my regular partner. We played every Thursday. He was still not a great player, but he tried. He never gave up. I respected that. He was a good man. A good friend. One Thursday in July we played 18 holes. The weather was perfect. Blue sky, light breeze, no clouds. I played well. 2 birdies, 3 bogeys. Not bad for an old man. Tom played okay. He had a few good shots, a few bad ones. He did not complain. We walked the whole course, slow and steady, the way I liked it. At the end, he bought me a beer. We sat on the porch. The sun was going down, orange and pink. The course was empty, quiet. John, he said, can I ask you something? Sure, I said. Are you happy? I mean, really happy. I thought about that. I thought about the factory, the club, the kids, my cat, my house, my slow pace, all of it. I smiled. Yeah, I said. I think I am. He nodded. He raised his glass. To being happy. I raised mine. To being happy. We drank. The beer was cold. Good. The porch was quiet. The sky was beautiful. I felt good. Real good. A week later I got a letter. Handwritten. On nice paper. From Marcus. He said thank you. Thank you for the clubs. Thank you for the lessons. Thank you for believing in me. He said he wanted to be a golfer when he grew up. A real one. He said he would practice every day. I put the letter on my fridge, right next to a picture of my grandkids. I looked at it every morning. It made me smile. Summer turned to fall. Fall turned to winter. Winter turned to spring. The seasons passed. I kept playing. Every Thursday. Rain or shine. Cold or warm. I did not miss a single week. My body got older. My knees got worse. My back ached more. I did not care. I kept walking. Kept swinging. Kept playing. Slow and steady. The way I always did. One day in spring I woke up. The sun was out. Birds were singing. I felt good. I made coffee. I fed the cat. I ate my eggs and toast. Then I grabbed my bag. I drove to the club. The course was empty. No one else was there. Just me. I walked to the first tee. I took out my driver. I lined up my shot. I looked at the sky. The sky was blue. Perfect. I swung. The ball flew. High and straight. It landed in the fairway. Right where I wanted it. I smiled. I picked up my bag. I started walking. Behind me, I heard footsteps. I turned. It was Marcus. He was taller now. Older. 13. He had a real set of clubs. A good set. He smiled at me. Coach, he said. Can I join you? I smiled. Sure, kid. Let's go. We walked together. Down the fairway. Slow and steady. The sun was warm. The birds were singing. The grass was green. We did not talk much. We did not need to. We played all 18. He played well. Better than me. I did not care. I was proud. He was a good kid. A good golfer. A good person. At the end we sat on the porch. We drank lemonade. The sun was setting. Orange and pink. Beautiful. Coach, he said. Thanks for everything. For the clubs. For the lessons. For being here. No problem, I said. He looked at me. His eyes were serious. I want to be like you someday. An old guy who just plays golf and doesn't care about anything else. I laughed. That's the best thing you can be. He smiled. We finished our lemonade. He went home. I stayed on the porch. The sky was dark now. Stars came out. I looked at them, twinkling. Bright. I thought about my life. The factory. The club. The kids. The old letter. The old vote. All of it. It was a good life. Hard. Simple. But good. I stood up. I walked to my truck. I drove home. The cat was waiting. I fed her. I sat on my couch. The house was quiet. I was tired, but happy. I closed my eyes. I went to sleep. The cat slept next to me. The house was warm. The world was quiet. And in my dreams I was on the course. Green fairways. Blue sky. Perfect weather. I was swinging. Slow and steady. The ball flew. High and straight. It landed right where I wanted it. And I smiled. Because I was home. Finally home. After all those years. After all those fights. After all those letters. I was home. And it felt good.